Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna walk you through the study guide of the radical. First, you really know how to simplify a radical. You should know how to find the perfect square, right? Because you're gonna try to factor them, get the perfect square, and then simplify them. So let's say you have a square root of 1, which is 1, right? And then you should do the square root of 4, which will give you 2. Square root of 9, give you 3. Square root of 16, get you 4. Square root of 25, give you 5. Or 6 square will become square root of 36. Or square root of 49 will give you a 7. And then 64, you will get 8. Square root of 81, you're gonna get 9. And of course, 100, you're gonna get 10. So on, you should know 11 squares, 121, 144. Square root of 144 is 12, and square root of 169 will give you 13. The more you know, the faster factory you get, and it's easier for you to simplify. All right, first, you know that 5 is a coefficient, so it's still 5. But square root of 12, you will have square root of 16 multiplied with square root of 7, right? Because 16 times 7 will give you 112. So your answer will be 5 times square root of 16 will be 4. So if I have 5 times 4 will be 20. Square root of 7. Okay? Alright, next one is square root of 100 and just 44. 8 to the power of 7 be 16. Alright? So I will ask you to do me a favor. For all the odd number, break it down to the power of the closest even number. So for example, this is 8 to the power of 7. I will break it down to 8 of 6 and a, right? Because when you have 8 of 6, it will be easier for you to do the square root, right? Because 8 of 6 will be 8 of 3 times 8 of 3. 8 to the power of 3 times 8 to the power of 3. And when you have the same number, square root multiply, your answer will be just the base right here. So this will be easier. And let's say if I have square root of a raised to the power of 10 is an even number, right? So you have it a to the 5th multiply with square root of a to the 5th, and your answer will be a to the 5th. So you should know that that easy way. So it's easier for you to find to simplify the perfect square. Okay, so let's start with 44. 44, I know that will be 4 times 11, right? Okay, and then 8 of 7, I will break it down to 8 to 6 and a. B16, I will put it to this radical right here because I know that will be easy to simplify. All right, and don't forget the negative. So square root of 4 will give me 2. 8 of 6 will be square root of a to the 3 times a to the 3. So your answer will be a to the 3. Square root of B16 will give you B4. The 4 times 4 is 16. And this one right here, you cannot do anything. You put it back. Okay? All right, the next one is I'm having 108, right? And I know I can use my calculator to find what is the factor of 108, right? I can divide them by 2, and if I divide them by 3, I will get 3 and 36. 36 times 3 is 108, and square root of 36 is the perfect square, and I will keep it. And then I have the 2, and we'll put it down. X9. 9 is an odd number, so I'm going to find the closest even exponent. So 8 and x. So 8 plus x is 9. So I'm going to leave it like that. Y to the power of 2. So even y to the power of 2, I'm going to put it on this side because it's even. And I know the answer, if square root of y to the power of 2 will be y. Last but not least is Z14 is an even number, so I will keep it on this square root. So I have 2. Square root of 36 is 6, so 2 times 6 basically 2 times 6 will be 12. X8, square root of x8 will be x4. Y2 will be just y. Z14 will be just Z7 and square root of 3x. So that's your answer. Alright, move on to the next one is add and subtract your radical. Alright, so I'm gonna show you 2 problems and you're gonna take care of the other 2. So first, adding the radical, you're going to add the coefficient, the number in front of the radicand. And then you keep the radicand the same. So let's say number 7, you have square root of 7 is the same, right? Oh, the square root of 7. We add the coefficient, which is 5 plus 2, which is 7. So that's your answer, 7 square root of 7. Okay, so I'm choosing number 10 and do it. So let's say this is square root of 5, square root of 125. I'm going to break it down to square root of, let's say, 25 times 5, right? And 45 right here will be 9 times square root of 5. Okay, so now I'm going to drop down 3 square root of 5 plus 7 square root of 25 times 5 plus minus 2 square root of 9 square root of 5. So this one, keep the same. 25 square root of 25 is 5. So 7 times 5 is 35 square root of 5. This is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 square root of 5. And I see square root of 5, square root of 5, square root of 5 is the same. So that is my my like term, right? And then I add my coefficient. 3 plus 35 is 38. Take away 6 will be 32. Right? So we're going to find the like term while we add and subtract, right? And if we don't have it, you can keep it like that. Yeah. And of course, you use your calculator to factor them out, right? So you know that, let's say it's square root of 48. You have 6 and 8. 6. No, I'm sorry. You have 16 times 3 is 48, right? 147, you barely see 147, right? But it's not a prime number, so you can factor. So you divide them, it's an odd, so you cannot divide them by 2, but try to divide them by 3 and see what happens. And you will absolutely will get 49 on your calculator, right? Okay, 49 times 3, 147. 50 is I having square root of 25 and 2, right? I drop this, and I drop this, and I drop down minus 3, right? So I just try to simplify them. Anything I can do the perfect square, I'm going to do that, right? So square root of 16 is 4. 4 times 4 right here is 16 square root 3. 49 is 7. 7 square root 3. 25 is 5. Square root of 25 is 5. So 3 times 5, 15. square root of 2. And then I can combine my like term, square root 3. 16 take away 7 is 9, minus 15 square root of 2. So here's the point, square root 3, square root 2, I cannot do, they're not the like term, so that's just my answer. Alright, y'all try 8 on your own. Alright, for multiply radical, okay, for multiply radical, we're gonna multiply the coefficient by itself, and then you multiply the radicand and simplify. Multiply the coefficient, and then you multiply the radicand, and then last but not least is simplify. If you don't simplify, it's gonna be bad. Okay, so let's say number 11. 5 times nothing, which is 5 times 1 is 5. Square root of 6 and square root of 27 will give you 162. And you will try to find a perfect square by try to divide the number by 2. And if you can't find any perfect square, you should move on to 4 or 6 if they are even number, or 3 if they are odd. Alright, so we have 5. Okay, so after I put it in my calculator, I divided by 2 and I got 81. And I said, oh, I'm so happy with that, because square root of 81 is 9. And 9 times 5 will give me 45, and square root of 2 is still square root of 2. Alright, I'm going to find something with exponent. For example, number 13. Alright, so I will multiply there's no coefficient, so I don't need to. And then I'm going to multiply the coefficient inside of the radicand. So I have 5 times 8 is 40. x2 and x3 is x6. Oh my god, when I see the exponent raised to the power of 6, I will be happy. And I know my answer will be, so you know, x3 and x3 is 6, right? You add them up, so my answer will be x3. Alright? And then square root of 40 is square root of 4 times square root of 10. Right? So my answer... Oh, sorry, I did say something that is not right. I will apologize. Yes, I did something wrong. Okay, so for multiply with a variable, I'm sorry. So let's say x2 multiply with x3. I suppose to add the exponent, not multiply the exponent. So that's why I feel like I do something wrong. So x2, x3 will be x5, right? So now I will have x2, x4 times x1, right? Alright, square root of 4 will give me 2. Square root of 10 will still square root of 10. Square root of x4 will give me x squared, and then that x will be combined with the 10. Alright. Next one will be some distributive properties. And also, you will be able to FOIL for number 16, right? And you can do the perfect square trinomial for number 17. Alright, so I will try number 14 by distribute amount. And remember, distribute, you will multiply them. So square root of 3 times square root of 6 will be square root of 18, right? And then the 7 drop down. Square root of 6 times 6 will be 6 square root 6. Okay? And after that, I can break it down. For the 18 will be 9 times 2. Okay? The reason I choose 9 and 2 is I can do perfect square for square root of 9, which is 3. So 7 times 3 will be 21. square root 2, and then 6 plus square root 6. So that's my answer, because square root of 2 and square root of 6 is different, so I cannot combine my like term. Alright, so you can do distributive for number 15. I'm going to do 17. I think FOIL is fine for you. You're going to take 5 times 4, and then you take 5 times square root of 7, which is 20. And then 5 square root of 7, right? And this is minus, so this one should be minus. And then I have 2 times square root of 7 times 4, which is plus 8 square root of 7. And then 2 minus 2 square root of 7 times 7 is 14. And then I combine my like term, which is this. Minus 5 plus 8 is 3 square root 7. And then I know 14 you cannot factor with perfect square. 7 times 2 is not a good thing, so I will leave it like that. Alright, number 17. I know that this is, you can do the FOIL thing, because this is raised to the power of 2. But I know my formula is perfect square. So if I have it written down in this form, and they are adding, and they have the power raised to the power of 2, so I will have a 1 square plus, okay, we're gonna double this one. So 2 times 1, which is 2. And then 2 times square root of 8. Okay, make sure you multiply with a 1, but because it's turned out by itself, so I leave it like that. And add. This one will be square. Okay, so 1 square is 1. This one will be 4 square root 8. And then if I remember this one, I'm going to take here the 2 square, which is 4. Square root of 8, you square, you got 8. Which is 4 times 8 is 32. And 1 plus 32 is 33. Alright, next one will be dividing. Okay, dividing radical. Okay, you basically just simplify them, right? If the top can divide the denominator, it's great, right? For example, 48 and 3. I can break it down. 48 divided by 3 is 16, which is 4, right? And then square root of 18 and 75. So you can simplify them first. So I know that 18 is divisible by 3 and 75 is also divisible by 3, right? So I will have 6, right? 75 divided by 3, I got 25, okay? And this way still square root through 6, and this is 5. Okay, this one right here, 6 and 2 can be simplified to 3, right? And I know that 56 and 63 are divisible by 7, right? So I will have 8, and I will have 9. Okay, so square root of 8 is still, actually 8 is 4 times 2, correct? So 4 times 2. And then you do the square root. Square root of 4 is 2. So I have 3 times 2 is 6. 6 square root, I already multiplied 3, so the 3 is gone. So I have 6 square root 2. And then square root of 9 is 3. And now you can simplify more. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Square root 2. Okay. Okay, So I am going to do number 21 and I'll let you take care of the rest. Square root of 12 is basically 4 times 3, right? So square root of 4, 3, and square root of 5 will be at the bottom. So we have 2 square root 3 over square root 5. So here's the point. When you have the square root at the denominator, it is not the simplest form. Okay, so if you leave your answer like this, it will be counting wrong. So if I have square root of 5 at the bottom, okay, I need to make it to be a whole number. And the only way to do that is you multiply by itself. So square root of 5 times square root of 5. And then if you do it to the bottom, you have to do it on the top. Okay, and then the bottom will be 5. The top will be 2 square root of 15. Because 3 times 5 gives you 15. And then you can say you done. Alright, you try 22 and 23. Alright, I'm going to move on to word problem. Find a parameter of a rectangle with the length of 10 plus square root of 24 and the width is this. Okay, so there's two ways. Either you're going to do this one twice. Make sure there's a plus in the middle. 2 length and 2 width. Okay, or you can add these 2 up and then you double them at the end, right? For example, you have 2 times. You can add these first, or basically you will have this. Okay, so you take 10 plus 4, and then you take square root of 24 plus 2 square root of 16, right? Or I can do this way. So 10 plus 10 is 20, right? And then square root of 24, and then square root of 24, I have 2 square root of 24. Okay? And then you can do this one will be 8. 4 and 4 is 8. And then 2 square root 6 and 2 square root 6 will be 4 square root 6. Okay, I have 20 and 8 will be 28. Okay, now the 24 I can break it down to square root of 4 times square root of 6. Right? And then 4 square root 6. Okay, so this is basically 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to change this to 4. Right? And then I will have 28. And then I have 4 square root 6 and 4 square root 6. I will have 8 square root 6. Okay, that's my answer. Eva ran 1 lap around the track with 45 square root 3 seconds, while her K took 16. Who had faster time and how many seconds? Okay, so the person who had faster time is 45 square root 3. And let's subtract to see how by how many seconds. Okay, so I know that 27 will be broken down to square root 9 and square root 3. Okay, and this will become 3, right? So 16 times 3 will be what? Will be 48, right? So 45. Oh, so if I have this, Eva was not running faster, right? Kate did faster, because what Kate have is 16 square root of 27. It's basically, if I simplify them, it's 48 square root 3, right? So 48 is, oh, my bad, this is running, so whoever have less time will be faster. I apologize. Okay, so basically Eva still run faster. Okay, and when you do that, you got 3 square root 3. So Eva run faster than Kate 3 seconds. 3 square root of 3 seconds. Alright, find the area of the square with the length. Okay, so when you do the area of the square, basically it is the a rectangle. You do base time height. So we have 15 is the base, and then the height is also the same thing. So you will multiply this. Okay, you have that. All right, so you can FOIL them. Okay, and multiply and add them up. Okay, so 16 times 16, sorry, it's 15. Okay, 15 times 15 will be 225. Okay, so 15 times 2 will be 30 square root 6. And then we have 30 square root 6. And then I will have 4 square root 6, which is 30 square root of 36, which is square root of 36 is what? Is 6, right? So 36, and then I have 6. So 4 times 6 will be 24. Alright, add the number up. You have 249 for the whole number. And then 30 and 30 is 60 square root 6. Alright. Fine. Given the area, given the width, find the length. So you know area is length times width. To find the length, we're gonna divide. So take the area and divide by 10 square root 6. Okay, so 80 divided by 10 is 8 square root 3 square root 6. Okay, and 3 and 6 can be simplified to 1/2. So we have 8 over square root 2, right? Because square root of 1 is 1. So here's the point. Square root of 2 is at the denominator, and that is not okay. So to get rid of the denominator is a square root. I'm going to multiply exactly the same thing and do that to the top. So I will have a square root 2 over 2, right? Because square root 2 times square root 2 is 2. A divided by 2 is 4.